Hey everybody, this is Grace, and this is my first time driving by myself in over a month. Yeah, I finally got my driver's license renewed. You know, you have to wait, and I actually had it good, from what I understand. I did not know that. I thought Adam's was about as long as mine, but no, he told me it was 6 months. He said he tried to get it where I was going, where I went and got mine, which is near here, and it was a year. Mine was only like 2, maybe 3 months. If it's been that long, I can't remember that once I schedule it, that is. Yeah. Now, by the way, because of, you know, my driver's license had expired, and it was because of my health. You know, I had some health problems, and then when my dogs died, was not a good death for him at all, and it was a bad situation all around, and all that went on and everything, I was late scheduling to renew my driver's license, so I couldn't drive because in Texas, and this is Texas, yeah, you know, things are harsh. And some people, they idolize Texas. I wouldn't go either direction, you know, to some extreme, because it's harsh. Some of the things are very harsh. Not everything, but some are. And so, I mean, a year you're going to wait? Really? And like I was saying, I wasn't going to drive because there's no way I could reach anybody. I mean, I don't know if anybody else knew some secret to how to reach someone at the DPS. No, it would all go back to this automated system, and you have to wait for your appointment, which could be a year. Okay, mine I think was lucky because when I went to do it online, it had a glitch, and I had to write someone, had to find out how to write someone, and you know, email someone, and she fixed it, and she told me to go ahead and schedule it, and I think somehow that worked, or maybe she scheduled it. I don't know. I don't remember now, but mine was not a long wait. You know, like some, but still a month, just over that month from when my license got expired. It was on my birthday, and then I had just over a month that I couldn't drive because of the $200 fine. When I looked it up and found it, $200 fine and or jail sentence. Jail. I've never read jail before. I've always been prison, but jail, I'm not into all that kind of stuff. So hey, you know. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. So Adam drove me, which was, oh my goodness, terror upon terror. Yeah, that man, I'm not being dramatic. It is. Boy, his driving is horrible. It's always been the way. I've known him about 45 years now. His driving's always been, yeah. Trust me. Leadfoot is just part of it. Just part of it. And there I sat, you know, not turning when I guess I could have turned. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But anyway, I was checking out to make sure nobody was going to run in front of me. Who was going? Anyway, his driving is terrible. He gets real close to the curb. Oh my goodness, it's like he's going to hit it. And I mean, he is real close. He's not in the middle of the lane. He's real close to the curb all the time. It just, I mean, I could say much worse. Just trust me on this. So, and I really didn't want to go anywhere. I think a whole week I refused to go anywhere with him. I was so upset with him, with his driving. Really. And didn't improve as he got older at all. So, and I'm being nice. Just being nice about it. Oh, okay. Are you TikToking up there? Well, what is this? Waiting like this, huh? That's what Adam says. Are you TikToking? So, anyway, I'm going to go get us something to eat. I was going to go today and go shopping, go by myself. But because of what I did yesterday, going to get the driver's license and all that, it was a drive. It said originally it said 45 minutes. I'm like, 45 minutes? Then it said, the next day it said 15. I'm like, was there traffic really bad? But there was traffic problems. So it couldn't make up its mind, I guess. And it was more than 15 minutes. Plus we had, we got there early because we didn't know that. And we went to get something to eat, and it was not that great of a food. And that's supposed to be a really good side of Plano. That's what they serve. I'm being judgmental, but it was bad. Both of us it wasn't bad, it just wasn't good. Okay, I should put it that way. Like, I got fajitas. We love Tex-Mex. And I got fajitas, and I've eaten fajitas at so many different places. Steak fajitas. Sometimes I got all of them. All the different types of fajitas at different places. And that was the worst. It was undercooked. And we were in a hurry because I had to get back to that place so I wouldn't miss my appointment. And so we couldn't wait till them to go take it back and start all over and all that kind of stuff. And it just wasn't as good. So it was supposed to be a place that was nice too, on top of it all. Okay, now I said this about, in Texas, some of the stuff can be really rough. And some of it's good that it's tough, don't mess with Texas kind of thing. Some of it's good, some of it's horrible. It really is for people. Now, I've worked at jobs where, in the past, where they had this mentality: if you're 1 minute late, they don't accept any excuses. 1 minute late, And this was the office environment. Oh, you're going to be written over, or you might be fired. This chain of command. I didn't sign up for military. I wasn't in the military. This chain of command crap. And they had that whole harshness. It's so very harsh. Women were. I just noticed something today. I was watching a weather channel, what was on the weather, and the guy doing the weather. It was our internet or provider. The internet. They're all cable internet all together. The guy that was doing the weather was wearing sneakers, which I've seen plenty of them. But back in the day, this is Texas too. Oh no, you can't. Nobody could wear sneakers at all. No, tennis shoes. What are you going to call them? Whatever you call them. And they look expensive. They look nice. I have some myself. And not that kind the guy had, but close enough. They look nice. Okay, fine. But not in the day. Okay, when I say in the day, I mean when this stuff was really harsh. And that wasn't that long ago. I think 2020 changed a lot of stuff. A lot. I'm glad it's changing, because I'm getting there where I'm going to talk about something good. But anyway, those days of working and being under so much stress and pressure, I've gotten so used to. I got so used to, because it was like that harshly. The only place it wasn't was in Austin. Okay, I lived in Austin. I worked in Austin. Wasn't so bad. Although I had a boss in Austin who she was from a place where it was harsh, and she was quite harsh. And that was quite a thing, living in Austin, where it's known to be quite laid back. It always was. That's when I was in my 20s. Early 20s. Early to mid. I lived in more than one place. I lived in several places, and we're talking, I moved, some of them I moved back to, moved from, go to somewhere else, come back, and all that. Different states, you name it, when I was young. In my, an adult, but adults married, and we just moved around a lot. But anyway, Texas has always been kind of quite harsh. jobs, and there was no sense in that. There's no reason for it. It didn't make better employees. It made people who hated their job, like my last one that I remember was so harsh. Two people, let's just call it, although there's no such thing as this, I'm gonna call it this. Two people had mental breakdowns right there on the job. I'm talking, they lost it. I mean, different times, not the same situation, but it was bad. And the boss, he had been in the military, and he had that chain of command. And he tried one time to do statistics. And I looked at him and I said, because he was trying to find something wrong with me. And he did his own little version of statistics. No. His statistics were, he would find 10 things. He would find them. He would look for them. He wouldn't do it at random or anything like that. And then he'd say, well, look, you missed all this many. No, because by the way, I had a 99%. Reality mine was 99% accuracy. But he tried to find something wrong. And I called him on it. I was not one to be intimidated at all. Seriously. And then I reported that, let them know that that I had reported them for sexism. And I did report them for sexism. And it was sexism. Not like you think on TV or something like that. No, we're talking that the men could dress casual. Women had to dress formal. I mean, not business formal, let's say it that way. Women could not wear the sneakers. That's why I brought up the sneakers. And they couldn't wear shoes that made noises. Seriously. That was how it was spoken. We couldn't wear shoes that made noises. But the men, it was okay. They could dress real casual. And the supervisor, he wore sneakers and just, real casual. He looked like a hippie. Seriously. But women, And there were all kinds of, that was the mildest ones. There were several of them. So I let them know, and they were scared of me. And they should have been scared of me. Really. But that's an old story. Anyway, the harshness in Texas was just, what are you doing? Come on. What are you, do you see this guy in front of me? Look at how far he is between himself and the other one. He's sitting there doing something. Yeah, this is my first time back driving. But look at the distance. Oh, you can't see it. The distance between him and, he was just sitting there. Police are sitting right there, but no. That person just doesn't know how to drive. Really. But now I'm doing it because I wanted to stop and see who it was. I did that on purpose. But no, he was just sitting there. Like la-da-dee-da-da-da-dee-da-da. Oh my goodness. Talk about your harshness, right? I'm unforgiving with stuff like that. I see it too, that's me being unforgiving. Not really unforgiving, I forgive them. But when people are causing problems, now just for the record, nobody was behind me when I did that slow right there. So no, I wasn't causing problems with traffic. But I just don't accept it. I will honk. Adam says, you go, girl. This in the past, I don't know if I ever did. I really didn't. I don't know. But lately, more and more, the way people drive gets to me. But anyway, back to this topic. The harshness in Texas. That's just people causing problems. I just mentioned that. The harshness in Texas. So when I was, all this stuff about going to get your driver's license, 47 years I've been driving, and never have I ever had to make an appointment to go. You just went to the place, got it, and went home. No biggie. Well, this one was a biggie. This one you could only read, you couldn't call them, you couldn't ask anybody anything, there's no way to reach a human. except for me finally finding one that was the email, because it kept messing up. It had a glitch. And then it gave an email. Okay. So anyway, everything caused so much anxiety. Let me jump ahead. When I got mine, the young woman, she was really sweet. I mean, unbelievably sweet. And not that sugary sweet, not the fake sweet. She was just a nice person. So that's why I say maybe 2020 changed some things, where they're hiring people that are nice. Hiring people, I don't know why it would have. I haven't really thought about it enough. But every person there, they were so sweet. You would not, I mean, like I said, not sugary sweet, not fake sweet, and none of that stuff. They were just nice people, and you can tell. I mean, the whole demeanor, and again, I don't know if you could, my degrees are in psychology and sociology. I don't know how much other people could, anybody could, because I'm trained to pick up on these things. I was trained, over 20 years, I was a career student. So I know what I wanted to know what I know, and I do. But these were nice people. And that's so refreshing. It wasn't the harshness that I expected, because that's what it always has been. When I first got my driver's license changed, the first time changed, or maybe it was due, Adam and I had, whoa, mister, this is not a road for that. Oh my goodness. And I was going, these people, I'm telling you, see? You see the line? Does that tell you that you can cross, you can go around somebody? Look at him on somebody's tail. Oh, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say it's okay to cross. Nope, not at all. Anyway, and where was I? But, I was talking about the nice people. Very nice. But my experience in life, the first time I got my driver's license, first time I got it changed, I got married when I was 18, and Adam and I had married. They told me if I did not change my last name to his last name, then I didn't want to. I'm very independent. I didn't want to. And I mean, they told me that that DPS, Department of Public Safety, told me that Social Security office would fine and or imprison me if I didn't change my last name to his. Okay. And I stood there and I said, what? So I had to change it. What in the world was that? I was not a happy camper. So, since then, all I remember anytime I went, it was just so, the last couple times, they told me I had to take off my glasses. I wear glasses. I've worn glasses for 50 years. But, 50-something years. How long? 52 years. So, I understand it's face recognition. I was wondering if they were going to do that again. But the woman that told me before, she was so harsh. I remember it being so harsh. And now the people there, one of them actually, Adam was with me, and nobody had told us, that to read your ticket. How many of you go and get a number? You go to get your, it gives you a number. How many of you sit there and really read the fine print? I'm talking fine print. Okay, and I was one of the younger ones there. I mean, really. And some people, they don't read English. So, I mean, many of the people there were Indian. I wonder how many knew English. They were around my age. So, I mean, that's, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know, because what happened was the front desk, I asked a woman, I said, she was picking up some stuff. I said, what are these clipboards for that you're picking up? And she was around my age, and she said, "You didn't get one?" And I said, "No." And she showed me where to get one. And I was like, okay. I was thinking, how would I know? How would I know to get one? Or somebody should have given me one. If it was written on that fine, if you get a number, that's your number. Are you going to read that? And that's what it said, to get a, it really didn't explain it either. But it was to get that and then go to this other section. Well, that woman, she had to come out and tell a whole bunch of us, basically everybody in the waiting room. Okay? And like I said, most of the people there were Indian, and Adam said Asian. And like I said, I don't know how many of them read English. And I didn't read it because I'm used to, it's not part of my culture to get a number and read a little bitty fine print. That little bitty fine print is usually something like who made the ticket. Anyway, so everybody was like, they were confused. A lot of them, she had to go to them. It seemed like, or maybe that's what she was doing, I don't know. But when I got to the next thing, I think it was her, that was there. And I was standing there, it's when you verify things like I had gotten a birth certificate for two of them. Birth certificates for myself, to have an extra spare. And I had brought a whole bunch of stuff because of what that young woman at a doctor's office told me, that they'll make you go home and you have to wait again. But anyway, so I told that woman, Adam was standing there, and I said, "Oh, I'm all nervous, my hands are shaking." She goes, "It's okay, we'll take care of you." She was real nice. And that is not unusual these days for people to, they're not being sarcastic, I'm telling you. They're just treating me like I'm precious. I'm not kidding. It's and I think I have it figured out. I used to say this about my mother, and I kind of take after her and her mother. My mother, I'd say both of them really were like that, everybody's grandmother type. Not everybody's, of course. Some people would say, and then they would be right. Each ethnic group has a grandmother type, a stereotype, but it's not in a bad way, so we just call it a type. And but I am one of those. I am one of those. My mother was, her mother was, and I resemble them. Yeah. So, and I think that's what it is. I have that look of being a grandmother type. So they treat me precious. This is Texas. Don't mess with Texas. Grandmothers. Anyway, it was funny because we went to that restaurant, and there was I told Adam, I said, "Look, read that sign up there." And it was on the background was kind of a, I don't know what you call it, Tex-Mex kind of background that we see quite often. And it said, don't mess with tacos. I thought that was cute. It's Texas. Don't mess with tacos. It was a Tex-Mex restaurant. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. But I was really happy that it was so nice. And the people were so nice. It was so different. It's about time. Seriously. There's not this strict chain of command. Crap. That's crap. Seriously. I did not sign up for the military. I was not in the military. So I didn't sign up for all that crap. And by the way, I never paid attention to chain of command. Never will. Talk to you on another video. Bye.